Yo, what's up guys? It's Z. Welcome back to another gameplay commentary. I'm using the AK-74U with rapid fire on Summit. Anyways, I wish I could stop time. Time is moving too quick. Ever since I was little, down to my earliest memory, I've always had that fear in the back of my head that I was running out of time. We don't live forever, and that's a simple fact. There's no way of getting around it. There's no cheat code, even though people have tried for centuries, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. And that simple fact of mortality still haunts me. In this life, I wanted to do so many different things, lead different lives, but that's not reality. It's not possible. And I'm not trying to bring you down or tell you you can't do it, but everybody gets one. Hashtag Spider-Man. A finite amount of time they get to exist on this earth until the inevitable big sleep. And whatever happens after that has been debated for centuries, since the dawn of time. And I don't think my fear of losing time is irrational at all. If you put it into perspective, you only really live for maybe max a decade, if you're lucky. Due to modern medicine available, food being readily available in the grocery stores, like we used to have to hunt that stuff. If you weren't successful in fishing or hunting, I guess you would just not eat that day. And that still trips me out. The fact that I have to eat maybe 2 or 3 times a day. Like imagine if you didn't have a good hunting system back in the day, or you weren't able to readily get food that often. But just the fact that if you couldn't catch anything or the food or harvest went wrong, you weren't eating. It's not like here where you can go to like the grocery store and get a deli sandwich or a rotisserie chicken. That's not a thing. I remember watching a video, I think it was maybe that Tyson guy who talks about the universe and everything, but I remember he was comparing our life in terms of length, that your life comparatively to how long the universe has been around, which has been around for what, maybe 5 billion years? I'm not sure how accurate that is, I just googled that, but just like a lot, like a long time. Your life is like a blink of an eye compared to that. Like one blink of an eye, your life has already finished relative to how long the Earth's been. There's going to be so many more lives after you, and there's been so many lives before you. Your life was just a little grain of sand, even less than that, in the history of the Earth. And just thinking of that really trips me out all the time. The value of time cannot be understated. In my opinion, it's the most valuable currency, resource on the planet. Even more valuable than all the diamonds and cash in the world. Billionaires, they can buy anything they could ever dream of, except for time. Time is priceless. I've heard so many stories about rich, successful, or just successful people in general. People who are doing well in life, and they always wish they could go back. And a common thing that I've heard from a few of these interviews is that sometimes they get asked a question about the importance of life or what they want, and they sometimes talk about going back in time, how they wish they could go back and they would give up everything just for a few more moments back in the past with one of their loved ones, maybe their mother, their children. Those are the times that are priceless. Time is valuable in so many different ways, like we just talked about. Spending times with your loved ones is so important. And sometimes I know in life you get a little busy, right? And you end up neglecting them, not on purpose, but life just gets in the way, and it just happens to all of us. You move away to college, you get a job, you have a girl, you talk to your parents less, you talk to your family less, and that's just a weird balancing act that you have to learn to adapt to and figure out yourself in your own situation that I think most adults will have to come and deal with eventually. And that's not a bad thing, it's just life. But you have to realize that you're not on this planet forever. That's why it's such a gift for me to be able to spend it with my loved ones. Because you can't buy back time you wish you had spent back then. That also goes for jobs too. And look, this isn't any anti-work video, but I'm just telling you the reality. Jobs take a substantial amount of your life. 9 to 5s? I feel like it takes at least like 30% of your life. I'm not sure, that was just a random estimate, but it takes a lot. And that's the problem I've always had with jobs. And I know I'm not alone in this. I know it's a popular sentiment. Basically, that one saying, you're basically trading your life/time for currency, moolah. And everyone has to do it. And look, I'm not saying do not work. I just remember and want to bring up the realization that really hit me the hardest a couple of years back, actually. I was living down in Los Angeles at a really popular brewery in West Hollywood. Believe me or not, I was a security guard. Crazy, right? I don't even think I'm big enough to be one, but whatever. It is what it is. but it had to be the most boring waste of time. It had to be the most boring feeling I've ever felt in my life. I felt like I was wasting my life just standing there. I felt like I wasn't actually doing anything. I was just standing and sitting there for hours, doing nothing. While I could be eating a Scooby-Doo sandwich at the beach, playing video games, drawing, YouTube, exploring hobbies, creating YouTube videos, just anything that you like to do. And it doesn't need to be productive all the time, right? I think as a human being, you should just do things that make you happy sometimes. Some just watching a show or even drawing or going out to the park. You spend the most time with yourself, you should be kind to yourself and treat yourself. I think that's something that most of you guys can relate to. Let's say if you ever made around $14 to $24 an hour. I remember you would buy a meal on your lunch or dinner, etc. And in the back of your head, you always have that thought that you just spent the equivalent of an hour of your life working on this mediocre burger at a bougie burger bar. Just my own personal perspective, I always thought life was a game. I wanted to experience so many different lives, try out all the different classes, you know what I mean? Like imagine a life as an Italian man making pizza in New York, his whole life. Or a nomad traveler, a country boy compared to a city boy. All of these are unique lives that I won't and can't experience due to just me not having enough time. I don't have enough time in this world to dedicate my whole life to multiple passions. And even if I could, I know it's not possible to give 100% to any one of those. There just isn't enough time. Just like that old quote you probably heard of, Jack of all trades, master of none. I think that's the biggest shame in life, is that you can't really live out every passion or aspiration you have. That's why at times I wish I just had the power to pause time. Just to make it stop for a while, to collect my thoughts, to learn, to be able to delve into my passions without feeling like I have to choose between one or the other. Side note, have you guys ever watched Click with Adam Sandler? That movie made me cry surprisingly. Like the ending scene in the hospital where he's like in the rain. Anyways, a quick summary is basically he's given a remote from a mysterious man who gives him this remote that has the ability to stop time. And I just love that concept, and it still stuck with me. I watched that movie when I was like, what, 17 or something, 16? Same with Jumper. I thought Jumper was a cool movie. You could literally pause time, explore the world for 7 years, then unpause it, pause again, learn several languages, watch every movie, show, game you would ever want, pick up several skills. Being able to pause time and walk back in the present as a guitar or piano master, or even both if you really wanted to. You have unlimited time if you can just pause and just tuck off, do what you need to do and study and learn theory and everything. Look, this is basically just me coming to terms with the reality that I don't have an unlimited amount of time on this earth, and I can't do every single little thing I want to pursue at 100%. And I know I'm not alone in thinking this. Like ever since the 15th century, I looked it up, there has been rumors and stories of the Fountain of Youth. A fountain that if you drink from will revitalize you and bring you back to your youth. They even have cryogenic chambers you can sign up for, so you can wake up in the future. I don't recommend that. I'm not sure if anyone knows if you're guaranteed to even wake up, or you're just gonna end up like a fish. Walt Disney's head supposedly being frozen in Disneyland somewhere. And look, I don't know the validity of all these cases, stories, but what they do all have in common is the fear of running out of time. The fear of mortality. All of it is a way to say that they're not ready, that they don't want to run out of time. But no one has the power to stop the clock. So all we really can do is just live in the moment and try to live our best life. But anyways, thanks you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one.